You could have 500 friends online and still feel completely alone at 3 in the morning. That is not a failure of your social life. It is a failure of the kind of connection the modern world taught you to value. 1 in 2 adults now report feeling measurably lonely. The United States Surgeon General has declared loneliness a public health epidemic, with health risks rivaling smoking 15 cigarettes a day. And here is what makes this deeply strange. We live in the most connected era in human history. So why do you feel more alone than ever? Because somewhere along the way, you confused being connected with being seen. The average person now spends nearly 7 hours a day staring at screens. You scroll through hundreds of posts from people you call friends. You react with a heart, a thumbs up, a laughing face. You send a message, get a message back. And for a brief moment, something in your brain registers contact. But it is not real contact, it is a signal, a ping, a tiny hit of dopamine that mimics connection, without delivering any of the things your body and soul actually need. Real connection requires something that no screen can transmit: presence. When you sit across from another human being, and you truly see them and they truly see you, something happens in your nervous system that no notification can replicate. Your brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Your heart rate synchronizes with theirs. Your cortisol drops. Your body literally relaxes into the safety of being known. None of that happens through a screen. Research from Stanford's Neuroscience Institute confirms that even small moments of eye contact trigger oxytocin release. That is why video calls feel somewhat satisfying but still leave you wanting more. There is simply not enough neurochemical flow when you are looking at pixels rather than into someone's actual eyes. And here is the deeper problem. Chronic loneliness does not just make you feel bad, it physically changes your brain. Studies published in neuroscience and biobehavioral reviews show that prolonged isolation reduces your brain's ability to produce oxytocin in response to social situations. The longer you go without real connection, the harder it becomes to feel connected when you finally get it. It is a loop that tightens with every year you spend performing connection instead of practicing it. The numbers behind this are staggering. Loneliness increases your risk of heart disease by 29%. Stroke by 32%, and among older adults, dementia by 50%. These are not metaphors, these are clinical findings from the Surgeon General's advisory. So what did people do before all of this? Before the notifications, the group chats, the profiles that perform connection without ever practicing it? They gathered. They sat together in the same room, they ate slowly, they were quiet together, and in that shared silence, something healed that no algorithm could touch. Think about the last time you sat with someone in complete silence, and it felt comfortable. Not awkward, not empty, just peaceful. For most people, that memory is either very old or it does not exist at all, and that absence tells you everything about what the modern world has cost you. The Buddha taught something remarkable about this over 2,500 years ago. He said that having good friends and advancing together with them is not half of the spiritual path. It is all of the spiritual path. Not meditation alone, not enlightenment alone, friendship, real, embodied, present friendship. In Buddhist tradition, this is called sangha, the community of practitioners who walk the path together, not followers, not subscribers, not contacts in a phone. A sangha is a group of people who are genuinely present with each other, who share silence and struggle and growth without performance. Thich Nhat Hanh wrote that meditation in the 21st century should become a collective practice. Without a sangha, he said, we cannot achieve much. The Stoics understood this too. Seneca wrote that one of the greatest losses of a misspent life is the failure to cultivate true friendship. Not networking, not transactional relationships built on usefulness, deep, honest companionship, where two people see each other without masks and choose to walk together anyway. These ancient traditions understood something that neuroscience is only now beginning to confirm. Your body was not built for parasocial relationships. Your nervous system was not designed for digital proximity. It was built for presence, for shared breath, for eye contact across a table, for silence held between two people in the same room. Now here is where this gets really interesting. The loneliness epidemic is not actually about being physically alone. Some of the loneliest people you will ever meet are surrounded by others every single day. They go to work, come home to family, attend gatherings and events, but nobody truly sees them, and they truly see nobody. Loneliness, at its root, is about being unseen. It is the ache of performing a version of yourself so consistently that you forget the real one exists. It is the quiet terror of realizing that the people around you know your opinions, your schedule, your weekend plans, but not the things that keep you awake at 3 in the morning. If that resonates with you, know this: you are not broken, you are not weak, you are simply living in a world that rewards the mask and has slowly forgotten about the face behind it. Most people walking past you on the street feel the same way, they just do not say it out loud. Pema Chodron, the Buddhist teacher, offered a radical idea about this. She said loneliness is not something to be conquered, it is something to befriend. When you stop running from the ache of disconnection and actually sit with it, something shifts. You begin to see that the loneliness was never really about other people. It was about your own willingness to be real, to drop the performance, to be seen as you actually are, and trust that it is enough. The cure for loneliness is not more connections, it is deeper presence, with yourself first, and then with others. Here is a practice. It is simple and it costs nothing. Tomorrow, have one conversation where you are fully present. No phone on the table, no glancing at notifications, no rehearsing your response while the other person is still speaking. Just be there. Listen the way you would listen to a river, without needing it to say anything different than what it is already saying. You will notice something. The conversation will feel different, heavier, in the most beautiful way, more real. You might feel exposed. That is normal. Presence without distraction can feel vulnerable at first, because you have been trained to fill every gap with noise. But stay with it, and the person across from you will feel it too, because presence is contagious. When one person offers it genuinely, the other almost always responds in kind. That is not theory, that is something monks, philosophers, and grandmothers have known forever. Then do it again the next day, and the day after that. Not because it is a hack or a productivity technique, but because this is what your nervous system was designed for. This is what 25 centuries of contemplative wisdom has been trying to tell us. You were not built for 1,000 shallow connections. You were built for a handful of deep ones. Something is already shifting. More people are putting their phones down at dinner tables. More people are seeking out meditation groups and gathering circles, not just apps and algorithmic feeds. Across the world, people are quietly realizing that the attention economy took something ancient and essential from them, and they are choosing to take it back. You are not lonely because something is wrong with you. You are lonely because the world forgot what connection actually means. It replaced depth with speed. It traded presence for convenience. And now, slowly, beautifully, people are beginning to remember what was lost. The noise will always be there. The notifications, the feeds, the endless content designed to simulate closeness without delivering it. But beneath all of that, something real has always been waiting. A conversation that goes deeper than small talk. A silence shared between two people who do not need to fill it. A moment where someone truly sees you, and you let them. That is not loneliness, that is home, and it has been waiting for you this whole time.